Hello, and I am incredibly excited to talk to everyone today about the power of creators and their impact in the world and on the economy as well. Because let's face it, we are living in a creator renaissance. Power shifting from organizations to individuals right across the world and also across so many different industries. Now, there's some new research out from NeoReach and also Influencer Marketing Hub, and it says the economic value now of the creator economy is over $100 billion just in 2021 alone. And that's all about the revenues that creators are actually deriving and also the money that's being invested in the creator economy as well. So with that in mind, it is absolutely fantastic, truly, truly wonderful to be here today with one of India's biggest digital creators. So Prajata Kohli, we are absolutely delighted to have you, but you are known as your username, Mostlysane.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we are so excited. Now, if you don't know, and I'm sure everybody does know,
but if you don't, you should follow me.
Where should they follow you?
On Instagram.
On what?
Mostlysane.
Mostlysane.
I'm going to say it in every camera.
She's built a following already of over 7.3 million people, making her one of the most followed digital creatives in India. And, you really truly do delight your audience with your wonderful short comedy moments and also on the more serious side, the use of the platform for some really serious causes that you care passionately about. And actually, just this last year, in 2022, she was appointed as the first UNDP climate change champion in India. So first of all, really, really thrilled to have you here. I've got a few questions, if I can.
Yes, please.
Let's get stuck in. Right. So what actually started you speaking up on some really important issues? Lots of social conversations, things like climate change, girls' education, mental health, positive.
Yeah.
What was going on here?
So I started, I think it was in the, by the end of 2015 is when I realized that when I speak about something on my socials, I actually get a reaction, which is a conversation, and it's not a one-way street. And actually, all the conversations that have been social for me came very organically to me through my audience. And I'll always be very, very grateful for that because they're extremely honest with me.
And what highlights stand out for you?
So many. I mean, I remember I was in, and it's always these smaller moments, right? Like I remember I was in Delhi for an event, and there was this, it was way back, like 6 years ago. There was this young girl who came up to me, and she was like, hey, listen, like, look at my legs. I've not shaved my legs. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I hate waxing and I hate hair removal and I'm allergic to a lot of things, but I love wearing skirts, and thanks to your video and thanks to everything you talk about on your socials, I actually had the guts to kind of wear the skirt, get on a metro and come all the way to see you. And for me, that was a huge medal because I was like, it's one thing to speak on the internet, but it's another to actually see real people kind of get affected by it and come talk to me about it. So those have, moments like that are always very surreal.
Oh, I love that because she could be her true authentic self because of the inspiration and the role modeling that you had done.
Because of the conversation that happened. So I was very happy that I could be a part of that.
Oh, that's great. Well, in many ways, creators have always been at the forefront of and the center of culture. So what new ways are you finding that you can now authentically actually, get and continue with your own community?
I think I'll be very honest with you. I think we were looking for newer ways before, and I'm not saying this because I'm in the Meta house, but it's a lot of the tools that Instagram kind of has offered me before I've demanded it, that has made this actually very, very easy. Like I say, it's very simple, but like even every single day right before I go to bed, I check mentions, and every day I make notes before I go to bed because my mentions always give me insight into what is happening and how I can steer conversations ahead from where I am already. Everybody knows, I've been speaking about the fact that I am at the WEF right now. So I am getting so many DMs and so many mentions telling me, hey, can you check what happens with this? Like what are the conversations around climate change? Or whom did you meet? Are we going to see anything in your mini vlogs? And I feel like that inclusivity of them not being here physically, but still my socials being a vehicle for these conversations to go through is very empowering.
And what about short form video? What about Reels?
I love it.
Why do you love it?
I'm hooked. I am so hooked. And I'll tell you, I remember when Reels first started, my partner managers in Instagram, we had a call and he was like, okay, Prajakta, so we have to do and it was 15 seconds when it started.
That's right.
And I was like, are you mad? I make 8-minute videos. I cannot compress my content under 15 seconds. I can't do it. And he's like, you know what, just give it a try. And I actually had the pleasure of kind of playing around with the feature before it was rolled out.
You were in the beta, yeah.
Yes. And I felt so crippled because I was like, this is very easy to use, but I don't know how to make content that's so short. But I think that was like for the first 1 month. And then, I love making reels. I literally just uploaded a reel before I got here.
But I also think it speaks to what makes a great creator, and it's also not being afraid to try the new things and experiment with the new technologies and the products as they come along.
And I think that's been my biggest lesson here, because here everyone's talking about Web 3.0, everyone's talking about AI, everyone's talking about... I just had the most mind-blowing demo outside. And...
what, the Quest? The Quest Pro?
Yeah. And
what did you see?
I had a very good conversation with Matt, who was all the way in London, and we also high-fived, which was just mad.
In VR.
In VR. Yeah. And I think especially in this week I've realized that there's a lot that's coming, and obviously you can never be very completely prepared for it, but it's exciting because it's new.
Yeah. Now, shifting a little bit to the business side of things, we're hearing that 66% of brands have actually increased their budgets to do creator-led campaigns, and we're seeing lots of great collaboration. So I'm curious, from your side, can you give me some examples of some great collaborations that you've done with brands?
Definitely. I mean, I have, touch wood, had the pleasure of of all the brand collabs that I've done, I think 1 or 2 were a little tough to get through to, but most of them have been such a delight. It's so refreshing because I've been doing this for over almost 8 years now. I remember when brand collaborations used to come in the beginning, it was, especially for my country, it was very television-like. It was how brands knew how to do ads, you know, and the creator economy was completely different. And somehow we kind of had a couple of bumps where I realized that that's not going to happen unless you meet midway. But now, and I always say this, it's such a great time to be a creator, because at this point, brands are very, very aware. They're very forthcoming. They are open to collaboration, they're open to feedback. So I have actually had a great experience with brands. One of them has to be Gillette Venus. I have been on an almost 4-year long partnership with them, and it's been great. It's a beautiful fit. It works for my audience. It's organic, and the brand is a delight to work with. I recently did something with Mahindra back in India, which is really, really nice. So I think for me, those are the ones, the long-term ones are the ones that kind of always turn up to be fruitful.
And if there was one message you would want to give to brands and advertisers, what would you say?
I mean, most of them get that now, but still, I think if brands would just understand more that you understand your brand, but we understand our audience, and I feel like a collab is very important at this point. It cannot ever be a conversation that here's our brief, here's what we want you to do, and that's that.
That's great. So what do you love most about being a creator?
That not one day is like another. You know, like I wake up and one day I'm acting, one day I'm writing, one day I'm editing, the other day I'm sitting here with Nicola in Davos, and it's mad. So I'll never get bored. I think that's the best part about being a creator. Also, nobody knew that avenues such as actually getting serious jobs as actors or as panelists on places like this would ever be an opportunity. Like I did not expect I would fly halfway across the world and actually speak at a panel and have people listen to what I have to say. And I think that's a huge opportunity, and I did not expect that. So I love everything. I hate edits though, which is why I like reels. It's easier.
So we're all being very positive, but if we think about what's going on in the wider world, there's the macroeconomic challenges. People are worried about growth. How are you thinking about that from your vantage point?
Wow, that's a lot of big words. I'll be very honest with you. I'm still learning, and this whole job for me has been very, very new. Although I've been doing it for so long, it keeps changing and it keeps evolving, and I kind of try to meet these challenges as they come. But if you ask me, do I have a plan? I really don't, because who really can predict this? Nobody saw the geo revolution happening in India 3-4 years ago, where the internet just went boom and we kind of like went everywhere, like all the small towns and cities, 2-tier, 3-tier, everywhere was accessible, it was affordable, and now you have creators coming from every corner of my country. I did not expect that. So there was no way I could maneuver it. All I could do was that when it did hit us, we were like, okay, how do we surf? Do we swim? What do we do? So at this point, I think I'm ready to try new things, but I haven't really given that much thought. Also, I feel like I'm still learning. So maybe when I have more perspective.
So are there any new monetization experience or products or new business opportunities that you want to share that you're thinking about?
I just started a merch line. And,
tell us about it.
I'm so excited. So yeah, I have Mostlysane merch now, and I am waiting for that to roll out so I can kind of also collaborate that my merch page to my Instagram page, which I'm very, very excited about. So that is what we're working on right now.
Okay, and what are the first few things that you're going to have, or you're not going to say yet?
Oh no, it's out already.
Okay,
it's out already. But my favorite is a tote bag that says Pishwi. So Pishwi in Marathi, which is my mother tongue, means bag. So yeah.
So I want to just close by where we started. I wanted to dig back in on some of the important causes that you really care about, the girls' education, the body positivity. Give me some key highlights from some of those.
When I started having these conversations, I genuinely thought it's going to be me sitting in my room talking to my audience, and that's that. I did not know the scope of it until I got this one email saying, hey, do you want to make like a film with Michelle Obama about this?
Okay, that's not a normal email to
and
get.
I was just like, stop asking stupid questions. What answer do you expect? Of course, yes. But that's when things like that happen, is when it really gets into perspective as to the impact and the reach that you have with a page like that. I think that has been a highlight. I think the fact that I'm here is a highlight. The fact that I get to have conversations, or even if not, just be in rooms where impactful conversations are being made, that's a highlight. I think the fact that if I am saying something and people listen to it, I think that's a win, because then there's got to be something that went right over the last few years. So yeah, everything is. I'm loving every experience.
And we have absolutely loved you being here. Thank you
you
for being the inspiration you are.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.